the suicide website Murderer. The depressed Japanese citizens began making pacts with similar people to meet up and kill themselves. This strange method avoids the sad part of dying alone, and it has become a game for the horrible serial killer Hiroshi Mao, who began hunting such people online and deceived them into meeting him. A 14-year-old boy, a college student, and many young girls became his victims. The killer suffered from paraphilic psychosexual disorder. He enjoyed watching people in pain and agony. The Sunday morning slasher. The serial killer Carl Eugene Watts was called the Sunday morning slasher. He stabbed, strangled, and hanged many women, declaring that they had evil in their eyes. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, and he died of prostate cancer in 2007. The Murderous Reporter. A Macedonian reporter called Taneski was the frightful reporter when he reported an incident in his column in the newspaper about 3 women who had been cruelly raped and murdered. It raised some doubts as his reports were rather too detailed. Taneski even knew the type of phone cord used to suffocate the victims and some really private details which were hidden from the public. The detective examined the reporter's DNA, and it matched the semen found in the body of the rape victims. He was caught and confirmed guilty, but he committed suicide in his own cell by suffocating himself in water. Whips and chains. Rhodes was a long-distance trucker whose CB handle was whips and chains. He had committed some terrible and gruesome killings by tricking young women with his behaviour. He tied them up, shaved their heads and body, and tortured them with his rape kit, which contained needles, whips, alligator clips, amongst others, and then he strangled them with a wire. The Railroad Killer. Another monstrous serial killer was Angel Mortorino Resides, who considered himself an angel. He murdered people, claiming them to be evil. He killed people right from Texas, Florida, Illinois, Georgia, Kentucky, and California. He used different weapons for every murder and said that he murdered the pro-choice or witchcraft practitioners and homosexuals. On June 27, 2006, he was executed for killing 14 people. The Cannibal of Münsterberg. Also known as Papa Denk, he was an active person in the church and helped the people in the town of Münsterberg in Germany. No one suspected about the buckets of blood outside his house or the weird, odd smell coming from his apartment as he pickled pork businesses. One day, a coachman heard the scream of a woman, and the investigators searched his apartment. Denk was arrested for committing 4 murders, but he hanged himself to death in his cell. The Godfather of Matamoros. Adolfo Constanzo was a renowned magician and fortune teller amongst gangsters and other criminals, and he worshipped the devil. He sacrificed people in the name of the devil. After so many sacrifices, the police found him, but he asked one of his followers to shoot him and his lover. The Ukrainian Terminator. Anatoly Onoprienko was a madman who barged into houses and killed the whole family. In his lifetime, he has killed about 52 people. When he was caught, he said some voices from outer space asked him to kill people. The SBahn murderer. Paul Orgrozau was a Nazi and a terrifying assassin who was known to drive and beat women to death and then throw them from the train which went along the railway line of the SBahn. Women felt unsafe to travel in train, When he was caught, he was pronounced condemned of 8 murders and was executed by guillotine. The Serpent. The half-Vietnamese and half-Indian killer, named Charles Sobraj, was sentenced for some horrendous murders through India, Nepal, Thailand, Turkey, and Iran. He claimed that he was actually cleansing the world. He used pills and powders to make the victims sick and killed them by stabbing them and burning their bodies. Nicknamed as the Serpent, he is now locked up in a Nepalese jail.